Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back for another one of my full moon pick a card readings. And this reading will channel the full moon in Capricorn 2021. So, the purpose of these pick a card readings is so that you can work with the energies of the full moon and new moon for manifesting and releasing. So if you want a more in-depth report on the astrology connected to the Capricorn full moon, I would highly recommend Molly McCord and her YouTube channel, or Tanya Gabrielle and her YouTube channel. They're very informative and very in-depth. So what I like to do is I like to channel in the energy to bring you messages that are going to support you for the next 2 weeks in this vibration. And of course, if you're watching this or this video came along after the Capricorn full moon 2021, I would say that the messages that come out could be something that could support you in the place that you're in your life when this message comes across. So I do intend these to be timeless after the timestamp. So I'm very much enjoying doing these readings and working with these energies myself. So Capricorn, some of my notes here. Capricorn energy is a sign of leadership. We have just come out of a very intense energetic period where a lot of Earth Angels were working with the dream work, the past, subconscious energy, right? So this is a powerful time. Capricorn full moon is a powerful time to release the doldrums, negativity, worries. Maybe you've been feeling that energy of depression, right? This is where, a lot of times with Earth Angels, when we start to feel that depression, for me, I've learned it's a sign that I'm coming out of alignment with my authentic self, that I am getting too much immersed in the 3D, the external, and the shadow of the ego. And so when I start to feel that energy, I turn to prayer, I turn to stillness, I turn to my guides, I turn to loving support, and I feel like I want to offer that to you in this reading today. So interestingly enough, this full moon is also about purpose, right? So Capricorn is a very ambitious sign. It's a sign of leadership. It's driven in work, right? And the beauty is we also have the sun in Cancer, which is about home, right? And family. So this would be a really great time to release any overworking or any feelings of procrastination. So maybe you need to get back to work and get into a space of releasing procrastinations or anything that negative thoughts that might be looming over you, like I can't or I shouldn't, any limiting beliefs. And then also too, if you have been working a lot lately, using the energy of the Cancer, the sun in Cancer, to create a better work home life balance in this cycle. So let me see here. So the moon, this Capricorn full moon is all about purpose. Let's see. This is a really great time for you to practice loving the present moment, loving where you're at. As you're releasing, you can fill your body up with the gratitude of how far you come. I almost want to applaud you for all the hard work, energetically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, that you've been doing. And I see brighter days on the horizon. I see rainbows. I see like the sun shining, and the EarthAngel Collective feeling spring, kind of like the shift and the release of the energy. We're now here in the Northern Hemisphere in summer. Summer is a time for, long lazy days and leisure and getting outside and vacations. So this is a really great time to celebrate, right? Let me see here what else I have. Okay, so also too, if you've been feeling the need to control everything, control is a way to energetically, or there's this feeling that if I control everything, it will keep me safe. So if you've noticing that you've been trying to control how things unfold, people, places, things, ideas, controlling your path, your purpose, right? Resisting, if you've been feeling you've been resisting those emotions or the changes that's been coming up, this is a really good time to release control and lean into that glorious full moon in Capricorn. It's almost letting the energy direct and guide you. So a great inquiry question for meditation, and this came from Tanya Gabrielle's full moon in Capricorn recent energy report that she put out. So really great questions for meditation for these next couple weeks are, what are you dedicating your energy to? And decide what to keep and what to let go, which I think is beautiful messages. So the cards I'll be using for this is I'm going to start with pulling themes from the Life Purpose Oracle cards. So again, Capricorn is all about purpose. We want to create a better work-life balance. We want to release control, and we want to step into the energy of flow and movement and aligning with our authentic self and the wisdom of our heart and our soul. So I'm going to start with pulling themes here. And then I'm going to pull cards from the Isis Oracle. So Isis is a moon goddess. So I'm going to call on her energy to support you as well with purpose and where you're at right now. And then I will work with the power of surrender, because the full moon is a time to release and it's a time to surrender and purge and let go. Maybe there's something that, you're like, well, where do I start and where do I focus the energy? So I'll pull from this card. And then with Nature's Whispers, I will pull a card of what you're being gifted with in this Capricorn full moon. Excuse me. And then I will finish with an affirmation for you to carry with you for the next couple weeks, where to focus your energy and shift in that place of gratitude with the Gateway Oracle cards. Excuse me. So let me begin here. I'm just going to grab some water. I like to pull the cards on camera. I like it to all be one unedited video to really kind of harness the authenticity of how the cards come out. If you prefer to skip ahead, I will put a space for the cards and the piles in the timestamp below, along with a timestamp for each of the piles if you just know what you want. So I'm going to begin with pulling the themes first. So let me open space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you today. Calling on the glorious full moon in Capricorn 2021. And I'm going to ask the messages that come through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, so let's begin with pulling 3 cards for the themes for these pick piles. So this is 1, this is 2, this is 3. All right, friends. So we will start with You're on the Right Path. keep doing what you're doing because it's working. So if you have any doubt, or maybe the last few weeks or the last month with all the retrograde energy and the eclipse energy has you wavering a little bit, this could be your pile. Let's see. So pile number 2 would be support. Oh God, I love this. So your life purpose is fully supported. So again, maybe you're in a shift of alignment with your support system. Maybe the dynamics of your relationships are changing with regards to a purposeful life, right? When I talk about purpose, I talk about we're here on this planet, especially Earth Angels, to integrate the energy of love back on the planet, right? Love through us, love of us within our bodies, within our beings, and then being able to share that high vibration with others in a harmonious giving and receiving energy. So again, purpose doesn't always necessarily start off with work, right? So not everyone is the way they're providing for themselves is purpose, but it's through that work and the means that they bring in, the monetary means that they bring in, it gives them the opportunity to live a purposeful life in other ways. So support is card number 2, pile number 2. And then number 3, light and love. Oh my God, I'm already feeling the beautiful of this energies of this reading so far. So it says your purpose is to bring divine healing light and love to this world. So again, maybe you're an intuitive, a channeler, a healer, a sensitive and empathic person, and you want to know more about how to work with this energy. So let me see here. Let's get these situated. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3 so far. And again, if you at this point want to skip ahead, you already know what you're looking for, what you need, what you desire. Of course, you can watch one. Maybe there's a little bit of information in one pile, and then maybe the rest of it doesn't resonate, and then you want to try another pile. Really trust your intuition with this. Again, this is harnessing the energy for the next 2 weeks. So, you could resonate with a pile now and then come back in, a few days, or at the end of the moon cycle, check in, and maybe the energy of another pile will fit for you. So these readings that I do are meant to be watched over and over and over again, because each time you watch them, you'll receive something different. So let me now pull in a message from Isis. So Isis, what message do you have for pile 1? You're on the right path. What message do you have for pile 1? Here. So there's 2. And what message do you have for pile 2? Go with this one. And what message do you have for pile 3? Okay, so there's 2 here. She's gonna be chatty. All right, so what does pile 1 need to surrender? This full moon Capricorn. What does pile 1 need to surrender this full moon in Capricorn? All right. And what does pile 2 need to surrender this full moon in Capricorn? Pile 3 need to surrender this full moon in Capricorn. Okay, well, that was like an exclamation point. And what is pile 1 being gifted with this full moon in Capricorn? What is pile 2 being gifted with this full moon in Capricorn? So there's 3 here. I'm just going to take them. And what is pile... Oops. That was pile 2. What is pile 3 being gifted with? This full moon in Capricorn. Okay. And finally, what overall affirmation can carry pile 1 for the next couple weeks? I'll go with this one. And what affirmation will carry pile 2 for the next couple weeks? And what affirmation will carry pile 3? Let's go with this one. All right, friends. So a little disclaimer here. The time of this video, Mercury, the planet Mercury, has just gone direct. And I am very sensitive, and Neptune, I believe is going retrograde. So I'm very sensitive to these energies. So I apologize in advance for any communication errors. Let's say I say new moon instead of full moon, or pile 1 or 2 if I'm on pile 1. So I will try to be very mindful of that. But like I said, I am asking for forgiveness for any communication errors during this. I do also want to say, as you're looking at the piles here, connected to the energies, we also have the theme of the full moon in Capricorn from the Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland, which is where I work with a lot of her energies and a lot of her teachings. The message here is the end of a tough cycle approaches. So know that, you just kind of went through an intense period here. And I feel like the energies are starting to lighten up, especially with, the sun being in Cancer, which is about home and family and warmth and love. And it's my home sign and my birthday energy, which I absolutely love. So how suiting that we are now closing out a very challenging cycle with all these retrograde energies and now coming into lighter days of love and support and positivity. So, all right, so let me start here, taking a deep breath. Tuning into the energy of the piles. Remember, there is no right or wrong on how you choose. All right, so let me begin here. All right, so those of you who chose pile 1, welcome. So we are at the end of a tough cycle. A lot of energy that has come up with shining a light on the past. If you've been actively dreaming, understand that the energy of the moon can really work out these human challenges in the subconscious. So not always, more often than not, if you follow Carl Jung's work, more often than not, the dreams are a more figurative way of the subconscious speaking to you, right? So it's not necessarily the literal, connected to the literal person you're dreaming about. It actually represents a part of you that you may identify with that person, or an experience you had with the person. So I feel like this pile 1 is reiterating if you're coming out of a time of much confusion, or you've had to turn a corner or make some adjustments and changes, or maybe all of a sudden you're not feeling the energy that you've been putting towards things. And, there might be a little fear like, whoa, what am I going to do? Or I'm so confused about, where I'm at. And a lot of times that's a beautiful space to be in, because it gives you an opportunity to relinquish control and let the divine guide you, right? So remember, because of free will on this planet, energy is constantly changing. changing. We may set out to do something or set our intentions. Maybe you set up a class, or you're setting up trainings, or you're setting up something new, setting a plan by putting out, maybe you're going back to school, maybe you're changing jobs, maybe you're working towards soulpreneurship, right? Going into a more soul aligned business in order to stream money in different ways, and understand in that journey there can be lots of twists and turns, and you might create something and maybe the energy isn't moving yet. A lot of times earth angels are ahead of the game, right? They create and present information way before the masses are ready for it. So this is a pile that if you're feeling like the hiccup, or you're feeling the bump, or you're feeling the insecurity, this would be a really great time for you to work on your own reinforcement of confidence, self-esteem, worth, and value, right? If you are concerned, maybe it's financial, this would be a really good time for you to get in flow. The goddess Lakshmi is phenomenal. The archangel Raphael is phenomenal for assisting with money and abundance. So while you're in pause, waiting for the masses to catch up to be ready for what you're offering, this would be a really good time, especially with this full moon in Capricorn connected to purpose, to release any insecurities, any doubts, any worries, any fears, any doldrums, any negativity, anything that you may feel could be emotionally blocking you. And I don't mean that in like victim energy or judgment energy. I mean it in like an aha moment, like, oh, I see that control, or I see that resistance. So you are on the right path. Keep doing what you're doing because it's working. All right, so let's see what additional messages want to come out for you. So Isis, what message of support do you have for pile 1? So there's 2 cards here. These cards are beautiful, and all the cards that I'm using I will put in the description box below. So Key of Life is one of her messages. It says the Ankh, which is this symbol here. I usually have a ring on that has that symbol, but this represents the divine feminine here. So this could be a sacred symbol for you to download, to work with. Like I said, I have a ring that I usually wear that has it, that's empowering in the divine feminine energy. So it says the Ankh portends new life being born through you now. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Do not give up on your creative destiny. Stay with it. You are flowing in the right direction. Again, you are on the right path. You are flowing in the right direction, and you have spiritual support from the unseen worlds. Let it happen, right? So, again, this might be a space where, this full moon or coming out of these intense energies, you might be feeling the hiccups and the bumps and the insecurities. So this is Isis saying, even though it may look like something you might be working on might be a dead end, even though you might be moving energy towards and you might be feeling resistance, know that that's part of the process. So her second card says Rising Sun. It says a dark phase and struggle is over. A new phase is upon you, one of hope, glory, light, and triumph. It is one through boldness and persistence, and it says you have been through much, and now victory is upon you, beloved, for the divine solar child. A new consciousness within you is born. I love this divine solar child, right? Because right now we're here in the northern hemisphere, which is most of my subscribers here, is summer, solar energy. Solar and sun energy is a time to grow things, right? The sun is shining down on the planet and is close to the planet, and this is where things grow. So harness the energy of the summer energy to nourish your own soul, right? A dark phase and struggle is over. So, one of the things that I've been doing is I've been doing a lot of inner shadow work on releasing my past. And for me, I'm in a 9 of my 9-year cycle. So I'm really reflective on what I'm over, what I'm tired of, what I'm no longer going to bring into the next 9-year cycle. So maybe you're in that energetic space where you can relinquish the past, heal from it, look at it, learn from it, grow from it, and then being able to release it and look forward to the future, get excited about what's to come, right? Especially with Cancer energy. Cancer energy has a tendency to look back at the past, right? To get stuck in the past, right? To recycle over and over again. So, maybe you have a tendency to do that, especially, again, the sun is in Cancer, so that could be amplified right now. So Isis is reminding you of, again, the rising sun, right? The sun is also connected to masculine energy, right? So again, this might be a time to get back to work. It might be time to start being of service to humanity again. Maybe you've been in a place of isolation or deep shadow work, and now is a time for you to step forward. And it's like, well, what am I going to do now, and how I'm going to do this? I cannot stress enough how important your meditation is, and the energy of pause and stillness and silence and nothingness, and how valuable those energies are for you right now to listen to the wisdom of the heart. So what does the divine, what does the energy of the Capricorn full moon suggest you surrender? So this is a good starting place for you. Interesting. Surrender your fear of change. Of course, right? So here again, she's, feeling the warmth of the sun. Again, maybe this is a change in direction. I keep seeing the imagery of whitewater rafts, right? And whitewater rafting. I feel like maybe for a lot of you, the emotional dam has been at a high degree, right? So I believe there are levels with whitewater rafting. Let's say level 1, and then level 4 is when the dam is completely open, and that's when things are so rocky and so bumpy. And I'm feeling like this energy is now spitting you out into the lazy river. And maybe you've been used to holding on for dear life and survival mode and fight or flight or freeze energy. And so this change can be a very positive one. Almost like now you're coasting on a tube on a lazy river, and maybe your adrenals are taxed. Maybe your body is still in crisis mode, right? Or the intensity of the energy. So not necessarily fearing change can be a positive thing, meaning like, relaxing into the support, relaxing into the calmness, relaxing into nature, especially here being in summertime. So the message here says the universe is reminding you that you are cared for always. Whether you're afraid of a change in your job, your health, or a relationship, or if you fear aging or death, repeat the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. So again, if you've been noticing that negative thinking or waiting for the shoe to drop, again, this can be subconscious. We could be very unaware of it. Maybe you keep seeing it all around you and you're not necessarily aware that of your own limiting beliefs and thoughts. So a really great affirmation when you notice that, being able to take a deep breath and release that vibration, that energy to the full moon in Capricorn, pausing for a moment, and then harnessing the energy of the affirmation, I have faith that all is well. And I really want you to feel these words in your body, right? It's one thing to say it in the mind, right? But it's another to really anchor that energy, like feeling the energy, I have faith, like what that feels like, that all is well. It's a deep inner knowing that God has your back 1,000%, right? This is where we're strengthening our faith, right? And realizing that the divine will always be with us, will always have our back 1,000%, right? So there's this look up energy that keeps coming up. Look towards the sun, right? The sun, the father, mother love. Look up to the heavens. Open your arms and your energy, right? And this is where you get divinely inspired. All right, so am I missing a card? Oh no. So what are you being gifted with? What are you being gifted with this full moon in Capricorn? Breakthrough. Yes, yes, yes. And this is 8 energy. So 8 energy is all about abundance. Again, another similar energy here, right? Arms wide open, right? Looking to the sky. So maybe, and this is very human and it's very normal, maybe you've forgotten to ask, right? So remember, the divine is so ethical. The divine abides by the law of free will, and they do not intervene unless we're asking. So this is why prayer and meditation and stillness and spiritual disciplines and regular practices of connecting is so important right now. Connecting with higher light and higher love. There's a lot of trickery energy out there. There's a lot of low vibrational energy that can appear to be of the light, and it can be very messy. It can be very confusing. So, your heart and your essence of the divine love and Father, Mother love are calling you to go higher, right? And it requires a level of openness, a level of calming that ego part that says, I can and I know and I will on my own. And this is reminding you to break through that energy, right? Go higher and open up to higher love. And so we have the 8 here, meaning that higher love is where our true abundance comes from. And remember, your level of success and what that looks for you is going to be different for others. So, some people live as if they're making $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, and they may feel, that level of success making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, right? So energy is just energy, right? It's just that. It's energy. So how you're feeling and your lifestyle doesn't really determine, let's say, an amount you're making or what your house looks like or what your car looks like. You can very much harness that energy in a vibration that isn't like, let's say, the most affluent city or the most high-priced car dealership or the most that's in your bank account, right? So you're also being asked to look at what abundance looks like for you and feeling successful based on where you're at and how far you've come, So I've said this often, that my level of success, what makes me feel incredibly successful in life, is that when I go to bed, I know at the core of my being, and I know this might sound a little morbid, but I know that if I die tomorrow, that I have left a legacy. I have made an imprint on this world. I know that I have utilized the gifts that God has given me of the power of my voice and wisdom to share, to make somebody's life a little brighter, to support them, to love them, to comfort them, to guide them, whether it be in my work environment or my personal life. I am very proud of being a beacon of light on this planet, right? So for me, that is a level of success, and I can sleep really well at night. And then, of course, because of that, I can also, financially support myself, and I can thrive in life, and I can really enjoy quality of life. So for me, that's a level of success, and I can feel that way, and I can do that with no matter what is in my bank account, right? Or no matter what I get into, what car I get into, or what, kind of clothes I'm wearing. But I do have to say, I am abundant, right? I like nice things, and I enjoy the 3D world very much, but knowing that that is an abundant energy that flows through me, and I have fun with it as opposed to being a servant to it. Right? So this 8-2 is all about breaking cycles, patterns, rhythms, right? So I feel like many of you who chose pile 1, you're in a breakout session here. You are coming into your own. You are seeing life in a different way. And this breakthrough is like the light at the end of the tunnel, the sun is shining, the heavens are open up, and they would love you these next couple weeks if any fears are coming up to surrender to it, but really savor the energy of the space you're in. Really be proud of how far you've come and all the boundaries that you're setting and the shadow work that you're doing and the way you've been growing and evolving on your spiritual journey. Enjoy it, right? All right, this is so powerful. I love these colors, these purpley colors that are coming up that are very spiritual, these yellowy colors that are coming up that is all about empowerment. And so let me finish this pile with your overall affirmation for these next couple weeks. A way to really ground this energy in is breaking barriers. Oh my God, I love how these all come out. So we have breakthrough, breaking barriers, you're on the right path, you're on the right path. So I feel like this is just an exclamation point for you, pile one, those of you who chose pile one. So the affirmation here is, I am expanding beyond limitations into joy and freedom. So I'm seeing the words here, raise the bar, right? So maybe you've gotten comfortable in a space and now it's time for you to raise the bar, right? So maybe you've been in a comfort zone and you don't know until you know, and then when you know, you do better. So you may be guided now to enter into different vibratory groups. Maybe you will start moving towards people who are maybe more stable, more financially secure, right? So many life coaches and powerful teachers out there like Maya Angelou and Oprah and Tony Robbins and all these Mel Robbins, like all these life coaches and teachers emphasize how important it is for you to surround yourself with energies that is empowering, that is where you want to be. I mean, I have done Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within event twice. And one of the things that really struck me was, if you want to be a millionaire, hang out with millionaires. And for me, it's not necessarily the dollar amount, but I feel like, hey, if you want a rich life, rich in love, rich in hope, rich in freedom, rich in support, rich in comfort, if you want those, align yourself with, imprint your energy with people, places, things, and ideas that align with a rich life, right? This might be a time for you to really look at the energies you're surrounded by. How do you feel, right? I recently started hanging out with some new people, and I found myself looking back at my past on all the cool things that have happened and sharing stories and just really being inspired. And I leave that those connections and I'm like, oh my gosh, that feels so good to be inspired by somebody and lit up and joyful and encouraged. And we don't know until we actually feel that. So again, this goes back, and I'll leave you with, when you're in those energies and you're feeling inspired, maybe this reading is inspiring you. Maybe you've been, watching other readings that might be triggering or might be feeding an addiction or might be, feeling like it's keeping you stuck in a place, right? And maybe this has encouraged you, inspired you. When you harness that energy and you feel it in your body saying, more of this in my life or something even better, anything that's not a vibrational match to that gets dumped, it gets released. And this is why I really value these types of readings, especially harnessing the power of the moon, because the moon energy is so powerful. So release those limiting beliefs, release those worries and fears and doubts, release those insecurities and those attachments to the old people, places, things, and ideas, and really look forward to the future. You are breaking through, you are breaking out. These are all things that need to happen for you to go up the elevator to higher love. Phenomenal. I love it. All right, those of you who chose pile 1, thank you so much for watching. If your reading ends here, thank you so much for watching. If this reading encouraged you, inspired you, please like this video. If you know somebody that you love, a friend, a family member that could benefit, please share this with them or subscribe and be part of this energy. I love you. I appreciate you, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. And those of you who chose pile 2, welcome. Support. So let me dissect this card here. So we have, again, the message says your life purpose fully supports you. So I am seeing the caduceus here. This is a sign in the medical community, in the health community. And it's also connected with the Archangel Raphael. So those of you who chose pile 2, if you're in a space of healing, if you are in a space of making adjustments and changes, remember, our physical body is our vehicle and our vessel to move in this world. So let me start with the physical body. If you're feeling pain in any areas, the tendency for earth angels is the neck and shoulders, the lower back, the knees, right? These are all connected to moving forward. It's connected to support. It's connected to safety, certainty, right? Comfort needs or connection needs. And so maybe you're in a place where you've been feeling like you've been doing all this work on your own. Maybe you've been taking care of everybody. Maybe you are running a business and taking care of children and running a household and paying bills. And, maybe you're in this space where you've been on your own. And I feel like, for part here is the Archangel Raphael reminding you that you are being supported. So maybe aligning to support in a sense where, Raphael also works with finances and money. And so that affirmation alone, my life purpose fully supports me. So maybe you're feeling the limitations of life, or maybe there's always something that's coming up. Maybe money is being sourced out and this one needs this and this one needs that. I feel like the divine here is encouraging you to go higher, releasing. I feel like, so there's a lot with this pile. So first off, I feel like I'm seeing you and I'm seeing lots of cords and attachments, right? So maybe you're feeling pulled at. Maybe you're feeling like you have this heart to want to grow something, create something, start something, a business, maybe a change in your life. But you're also, every time you do, it's like a bungee cord and you get pulled back for a job that you're in, children, crisis comes up. And so I feel like the Archangel Raphael is here to support you, and maybe you're feeling that in your body, right? And so this is like base stuff. So this full moon in Capricorn for you, I would feel that working with the root chakra would be really great. Working with certainty needs, right? Being able to work with filling the void within yourself of stability, order, certainty, to really bring your energy back to yourself, right? To see and be seen, to know and be known, to hear and be heard, right? And so I almost feel like building that security and stability with the divine first, right? Especially with regards to your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, and your physical health. So I feel like, this full moon, you can use this energy to release that low vibrating energy of the doldrums and the worries and the fears and the hows and the whens, the pain in your body, right? How can you surrender it to the moon energy? And really, again, harness the Cancer, the sun in Cancer energy, again, which is about home. It's about family. It's about nurturing, right? So Cancer is moon energy, moon child energy. So those of you who chose pile 2, I almost feel like the message is here: stop doing so much, or maybe you're trying so hard, or maybe you're giving to get unconsciously, maybe you're expending a lot of energy. And I feel like you can also call on the Archangel Michael to ask him to cut any cords and attachments of things that may be pulling at you, those that you know and those that you don't know, right? And then I almost feel like I'm being guided to tell you, go out and take moon bath these next couple weeks. Let your skin soak in the moon, right? Maybe if you can't get it outside, find a window in your house that the moonlight is shining in, and just look up and allow it to touch your heart. Be open to support from the heavens. Be open to support, to be guided. But understand, with that comes change. With that comes you being able to embark on a journey that might be unfamiliar and uncertain. This is why it's so important for you to create spiritual practices and disciplines and, regular connecting with the divine. And creating certainty, right? Stability, order, support, connection needs, right? Affection, attention, nurturing within yourself, so that you're feeling like a whole being. Like I said, this pile 2, again, if this is not resonating with you, maybe you needed this card at first, maybe the affirmation, my life purpose fully supports me, and maybe that's a part of the message. But I'm feeling the scattered energy of those of you who chose pile 2. And I don't mean, I mean that in a way of like, we're putting the pieces back together. Maybe you've come out of eclipse season and retrograde energies and the last month and a half with feeling broken up, feeling like, gosh, things really dug and shattered, and you had so much clarity and insight and so much change and so much healing and tears, that I'm feeling like I see, what's the word? Stained glass, right? Stained glass windows come from, or Tiffany, the Tiffany lamps? They come from lots of little different pieces of light, and they're put together to create art. Right? So I'm feeling like those of you who chose pile 2, the divine wants you to see yourself as intricate stained glass, or the Tiffany lamps, where there's multifaceted dimensions of color that are put together to create art. So maybe you're feeling a little broken, maybe you're feeling a little defeated, and that's the ego part, right, that wants to keep you in that low vibrational space, which you'll continue to attract that. And now the universe wants to see you as art, that all these fragments of light, right, all these pieces are now coming together to create your story, your vision, your art, and the way you will present your purpose to the world, right? So for me, I have a unique style, I have a unique energy, and I know that my work is custom in a sense where, that the work that I do, nobody's going to get anywhere else, right? And so this is what you're moving into. You're moving into your custom, authentic self. And that the way you present your purposeful work, the way you present your energy and your vibration and your voice and your art to the world is going to be unique to you. It's going to be individual, right? Interdependent and individual. And I feel like that is the vision of how and why you're going through what you're going through. So like I said, this full moon in Capricorn, I would suggest really looking at root chakra stuff, looking at your finances, looking at where things are going out, looking at your physical body. Are you moving your body regularly? Are you nourishing it with nourishing foods? That stuff is imperative too, working with higher frequency energies. So Isis's message for you is, oh my gosh, stay true and be in your power, right? Stay true. This is your individuality, right? And remember, nobody can tell you who you are. People can get an essence. People can get, a feeling, but you're being called back to yourself. I'm also seeing, so I just finished reading a book by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr., and it was the 5 stages or the 5 levels of attachment. And so maybe that is a message for some of you out there. Maybe you have that book on your shelf and you're being guided to go read it, especially if you're feeling attachments, if you're feeling like plugged in or dialed into something you can't get away from. It could be addictive tendencies, addictive experiences, because you're being asked to get back to the essence of yourself, your own individual nature, which again goes to stay true and be in your own power. So the message here says you are a sovereign divine being. So sovereign, that word means independent within yourself, right? You're an independent, powerful being. So you are a sovereign divine being with spiritual authority and freedom within, right? It says you do not need permission from anyone to be who you are and live your life as you so choose. This is your divine birthright. Guard it as the precious treasure that it is, and remember that you are a divine being, free to be you. It's no coincidence that I'm channeling these messages and then the cards are coming out to back it up, right? This is just reinforcing these messages. This is part of the human experience, friends. We forget, I know the power of human amnesia, and this is why it's so important to stay connected and aligned with faith-filled people, mutually supportive people who are in alignment with your core essence and your belief, right? So, and your, like I said, your divine purpose. So guard it as the treasure, as the precious treasure that it is. So remember, the energy of separate and divide, right? Or the lower vibrational energies on this planet, the evil consciousness wants to plant seeds of doubt, right? Insecurities, wants to plant seeds of feeling inferior, feeling that you're different and that you don't fit in, right? Remember, as earth angels, we've come into this life to be different, to reintegrate this powerful true love energy back on this planet. And a lot of you, whether you're masculine or feminine dominant, a lot of us have come here to learn how to harness this divine feminine essence. Again, we have, whether you're masculine dominant or feminine dominant, we have these energies within. And right now we are all being guided, especially those on the spiritual path, to harness that energy of the spiritual power, of the intuition, of the insight, right? For masculine dominant energies, this is your thinking mind. I have always admired the brilliance of the mind of masculine energies. I love to talk to masculine energies who are deep thinkers, right? Who can interpret the Bible, let's say, or interpret A Course in Miracles, who can interpret these very esoteric teachings through the mind. I've always admired that because I am a very feminine dominant person and I feel through my body, right? I feel the essence of through experience, and I interpret it through my body, which is what feminine energy does, right? And so when we have this balance of the masculine and feminine energy, the thinking mind and the feeling body, it is so powerful, my friends. And so many of you have been doing the inner work on aligning those energies within, and you're now getting ready to align with those energies externally in the 3D world. So many people, masculine and feminine energies, have been doing this work. So stay true and be in your power. The heavens are supporting you right now more than ever. All right, so what can support you in your healing? What can you surrender this full moon in Capricorn? Surrender your ego. Yes, we have masculine energy here. So I'm seeing like the ego part that says I've got to do it on my own, and I've got to keep what I'm doing secret, and I can't trust anybody. And, any mismatch of vibration that you have of a punishing divine being, or, any limiting beliefs that you have with God, in the traditional old religion sense, that stuff can be purged out, right? So the card here says cultivate gratitude, be of service to others, and come from your heart. A big ego can work against you, but humility will further your goals, right? This is something that many earth angels work with, right? The fear of being embarrassed, the fear of being shamed, right? So maybe you tell people, oh, I'm doing this and I'm having this experiences and I'm taking this leap of faith, and maybe it's not working out, or maybe it's not as lucrative, or maybe that relationship you thought was really going to shine and grow fizzled faster than it came in, or maybe that job interview you went on and you were so really excited about it and you told everybody, it didn't come through, right? This is where the ego feels wounded, and we feel shame or we feel guilt. Again, this pile 2 is intense, but it's almost like you need to hear this to see where you may be limiting your forward movement, right? And again, this is a powerful moon to do that, right? To say, okay, how can I shift this? How can I share? How can I open up? Maybe you're in service to a platform. Maybe you're in service to something that you started that's not resonating with you. How can you release the attachments to the seeds that have been planted with you? Remember, you take ownership. If somebody says something to you, or somebody tells you something like you're this or you're that, remember, you have a choice to, take that seed in and water it and nourish it, or you have a choice to see it as a weed and dump it and get rid of it, trash it, right? So this Capricorn full moon for you could be a really great time for you to trash those weeds, right? Pull them out, get rid of those egoic thoughts, right? Of, I don't want anyone to know, or I'm embarrassed, right? Because that energy comes from shaming, guilting, blaming, insecurities, things like that. And understand, friends, that's something that all humans struggle with. That's something that many, many, many people on their spiritual journey come face to face with, right? Our own ego. And so that's where, I'm really enjoying the Toltec teachings, Don Miguel Ruiz, his son Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. on the mastery of love, self-mastery, the 5 levels of attachment. This could be a powerful full moon for you guys to really dig into those things. Remember, we don't know until we know, and then when we know, we do better. So understand that you're learning and you're growing, and learning and growing can be complicated. It can be uncertain and confusing, and I can't speak to enough about how important it is for you to have nourishing, loving vibrations surrounding you right now, even if it's just the divine, even if it's just your angel cards and your prayer cards and your rosary beads. Even that, know that you are never, ever, ever, ever alone, especially if you're feeling like old connections and your network's kind of falling away. Know that this is a powerful time for you to call in support from the heavens. So wow. So 3 cards here of what you're being gifted with. So again, this is heavy here. So let's see, 3 energies Again, wow, clear out the old, right? Card number 5. This is the year, right? We're in a 5-year. It's all about change and transformation, changing the way we do things. So this full moon in Capricorn, friends, right? The end of a tough cycle approaches. This is a time for you to dump it. And how to do that is to feel the energies coming up. Maybe you feel the shame, maybe you feel the guilt, or maybe you feel the ego rearing its ugly head. The best thing you can do is see it, face it, experience it, right? Acknowledge it. Maybe you're up in the middle of the night, or maybe you're overwhelmed by tears all of a sudden. The best thing you can do is observing yourself in these emotions. Give it attention in a sense where there's compassion and there's love. I feel you, shame. And I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me, right? That Ho'oponopono prayer, right? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. That would be a great way of letting go, right? You know, sometimes people say, like, how do I let go? How do I get off? Or how do I let go, get over, and move on, right? That just feeling it and experiencing it and compassionately saying, I see you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Because remember, those emotions and those feelings are coming up because it's representing a part of you that all needs to be on board for you to move forward. So clear out the old. Again, this is not saying do more. It's saying be, right? And be forgiving, be compassionate, be loving. And trust me, I know how challenging that can be. This is an art. This is, right, a practice. This is something that we have to show up to. It's part of the human experience. So additional messages here is get to higher ground, right? Move through the fog, right? Get to higher ground. So 2, we have 20 here. 2 energy is about when we're faced with worries and fears and doubts. When we start to see the 2s, it's reminding us that everything's going to be okay, that have faith, look up for the divine, ask the divine for our assistance. So if you've been in a space like, I'm struggling, or I need help, or, I feel alone, just check in with yourself and ask yourself, have you been asking and calling on the divine for assistance? Or has that ego, right, unknowingly been in that space of, I can do it, I can handle it, I can figure this out all by myself, right? These are like unconscious thoughts that we're not aware of. And once you see it, friends, it's exposed, right? The ego does not like to be exposed. So you've come into this life as a divine being to master that, right? To master that ego, because it is the ego that is a part of us knowing that we are divine beings, right? It's through that we know that there's a higher part of us, that there's a soul part of us. So it is magnificently brilliant and incredibly limiting at the same time. So you've come into this life to learn how to master that. And the best way to do that is the experience of the 3D world, right? Is the experience of the world that we're living in, right? So get to higher ground, meaning look up, have faith, call on the angels for support, stay true to your own authenticity, your own voice. And then finally, potential gateway. Here's another 5 energy, right? Change. So look for a potential gateway. So once you ask, right? Once you open up, look at these blue energies and these purple energies. This for me feels like, and the green heart energy, it feels like third eye work. It feels like crown chakra work. So throat chakra work. So doing some work in the upper chakras, which is also connected to the intuitive. So and the feminine energy. So the throat, the third eye, and the crown chakra are connected to the feminine energy. The heart is masculine and feminine. There's a balance there. And then the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root chakra are connected to masculine energy. So maybe you've really been in masculine dominant energies. It's leaned towards the egoic vibration. And now you're being asked this full moon in Capricorn to release that and go higher and work with throat, third eye, and crown chakra. Like, how are you communicating through prayer? How are you communicating with the divine? How are you looking up and connecting, right? This is how you get to higher ground. And through that, you have awarenesses of things that need to be released and the changes that need to be made. And And then again, you find a potential gateway. The Holy Spirit shows up and gifts you with leads. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a teacher, maybe it's a class, maybe it's time, right? Maybe it's a vacation, maybe it's a getaway. There's so many things that can come in for you as a potential gateway to shift, right? You don't have to do it on your own, right? You have powerful energies that are loving you and supporting you at this time. So let me finish here with your affirmation. So an affirmation for pile 2 to carry through for the next couple weeks or whenever you're guided to watch this. Oh, embracing the future. Gosh, friends. Oh my God, I just want to cry. Just feel the love. I just feel the light at the end of the tunnel. I just feel the love. I feel the release. I just see this divine being. It's like this energy is walking through the door, right? It's like you're leaving an old path and now you're opening to brighter horizons. Have faith, right? Follow the leads. Look forward to the future. Be in the present and very much enjoy loving life right now where you're at, right? This is how we open new doors. So the affirmation says, I step into the future with an open heart. Wow. I just love these messages. I step into the future with an open heart, and I feel there's no more I can say. That is a period. I step into the future with an open heart. Yes, I hope you feel it. I hope you feel it in your heart. For me, I feel like a tingling, like it's moving me to tears, almost like I kind of want to drop to my knees and just say thank you. God is so good. The divine is so powerful. And maybe you've been touched right now with the spirit. Maybe you've been touched with the divine. Maybe you've been touched with that unconditional love. Maybe you need to watch this over and over again to really let those seeds settle in and take form and take root so that you can grow and prosper in love and light, because that is your birthright. All right, so those of you who chose pile 2, thank you so much for watching and being part of my channel. If your reading stops here and this resonated with you, please like this video. Feel free to comment in any way if this touched your heart. If you have any family or friends or loved ones that could benefit from these messages, please share that with them. You could also subscribe and insert yourself as part of this energy here. And again, if your reading ends here, I send you love with heavenly hugs. Thank you so much for watching. And for those of you who chose pile 3, welcome. Light and love. So I'm seeing an image of the sunrise. The sunrise is symbolic of the dawn. It's a symbol of coming out of a dark period. So maybe those of you who chose pile 3, you're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe you're starting to feel the energy shift. Maybe you're starting to figuratively or literally watch the dawning of a new day, a new time period in your life. Maybe the synchronicities and maybe the signs and the messages are now coming in easier. I had a ladybug land on me the other day, and when I looked down, it scared me, and I flicked her off of me by accident, right? It was just a reaction to bugs. And so I noticed it was a ladybug, so I went back over and I picked her up and I apologized for tossing her. And so I sat with the energy, and so ladybugs are all about good luck and good fortune. And so for me, I started to see the dawning of my coming out of my darkness, and the dawning of my own light and a new day coming out. And I just then put her down and I just kind of let her free. And then ironically, not an hour later, I went into my bathroom and there was this little tiny baby ladybug. It was so tiny, friends, that I had to look. I'm like, is that a speck? It kind of looked like a poppy seed. But when I got closer, I noticed it was ladybug. So I got a Q-tip and I put it on a Q-tip. And it just represented new beginnings for me. New beginnings in luck, in love. And the irony here is we now have Jupiter that's gone retrograde, right? And so I feel like, this imagery that I'm getting in the story that I'm sharing is to remind you that you are lucky in light and love. You are a blessed divine being on this planet, and God loves you. Source and Creator loves you so much, and you're in a process of a dawning of a new day. So again, the symbolism of ladybugs, if the ladybugs come along and you find them or you see them, really just take a minute to pause and soak in that beautiful energy of good luck and good fortune. And this is going to help you shift your vibe and look forward to appreciating and enjoying the present moment, having fun. I see those of you who chose pile 3, even though this is a time to release and purge, I see you giggling and I see you laughing and I see you having fun and being playful, right? So it's just because, we're surrendering and releasing, it doesn't mean that we have to be negative about it or the doldrums, or we have to be in this doom and gloom, right? We can joyfully, happily love life, and that old vibration and energy can just fall away. So I feel like, again, you're being gifted with light and love. So the message here says your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love to this world. For me, I almost feel with this card, be yourself. Nobody does it better, right? Be you, whatever that is. And maybe you've been in a place of discovering that. Maybe you've realized you've had people tell you who you are and what you should do your whole life, right? And innocently, earth angels can go along with that for safety, but maybe now you're coming into your own. Maybe you're stepping out of that. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I know that, earth angels, when you go through that experience, from my own experience, we can feel unworthy, we can feel insecure. It can really bring up lack of confidence and self-esteem within the self. But remember, you are a true leader. You've come here to be a beacon of light and to pave a new way. And remember, that's a very individual soul journey. Soul is in singular and soul is in higher. So remember that you are never alone, that the divine is always here working with you. And regardless of whether you're working in purposeful work or not, you being an example of God's light and love, just being the essence of who you are, is your purpose, right? Being love on this planet is your purpose. And if you're not feeling lovable, if you're not feeling loved, if you're not feeling the essence of love at all, this could be a really great time for you to reconnect that energy in a singular space, right? I say this quote so often, and when I'm feeling lack of love, or I'm feeling insecure, I'm not feeling confident, I immediately go to that Rumi quote. I open my arms to love, and love embraced me like a lover. And for me, I feel the certainty in the divine. I feel the affection from the divine. I feel the comfort needs being provided for. My connection needs being provided for. My certainty needs being provided for. My physical needs being provided for. And instantly I'm elevated. I feel that energy in my body. So this is what you're being asked to harness this full moon in Capricorn. As you're releasing, as you're purging, right? You're now being activated to feel the essence of I am lovable, right? So I was talking to a client the other day, and the imagery that I got was working with the energy of lovable and what that feels like. She and I both have animals. We both have dogs. And when my dog comes in the room and he comes over to me and his tail is wagging and he wants a pet, I, in that moment, feel love, lovable, and loved. I feel him coming to me with the tail wagging and his energy, just happy to see me, right? When I come in a room, or I go into a room that he's laying down and I go over to him, and unconsciously his tail starts batting on the floor, right? And, I can hear the thumping of the tail. He doesn't want to move, but he can't help feel my love. And in return, I receive his love. So really connect with and for me, that's a way for me to understand what it feels like to be loved, lovable, and to feel the essence of love. So work with that energy this full moon in Capricorn. And for me, like I said, my dog can be an example, but there can be so many things. Maybe you have a newborn baby or a grandchild or a child yourself that they come running to you. Really savor that and feel that energy in your body, right? And saying, God, more of this in my life, or something even better. That's where you harness that light and love energy. So let me see. So Isis has 2 messages here for you. So her first message for you is the dark mysteries. So the card says, the dark goddess calls you to her inner chamber. Again, this could be like shadow work. It says where she holds a test and a gift for you. The test is your willingness to meet and release the fears within that have been secretly holding you back. So this could be a powerful time with the full moon in Cancer to look at negativity, to look and observe worries, to look at and observe limitations or the ego, right? The shame, the blame, the guilt, the worries, the fears, right? So this is the shadow sister that's calling you because they're hidden parts of you that has wisdom for you, right? So she's calling you. So those of you who chose pile 3, you're being called to look and observe at those dark places, to sit with them, to explore them, to be with them, knowing that you're always safe and secure in light and love, right? So the rest of this message says, the gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. So this could be a time, it's like she's giving you work to do, right? And this isn't you doing anything really physical. This is you creating space, this full moon in Capricorn, to really look at the shadow, the darkness, like, oh, I see it now. And this is a really great time for you to ask those questions to the Holy Spirit, to the universe, saying, what should I be doing to move forward? What is the best pathway? What are the next action steps I could take to harness my purpose, full life, right? These inquiry questions that require us asking. But the exclamation point here is being able to pause and listen. Bringing yourself to the present moment to be aware of this repetitive signs that are coming over and over again. Those ladybugs for me were like a sign for me to remember that luck is on my side, right? When I start to not see things working out, or I start to get insecure, these, insecurities come up, or these worries or doubts, I remember, oh yeah, that's right. We're opting out of that vibration. Luck is on my side, and I can notice that I'm in that space, and I can also thank it, right? I mentioned this in one of the other readings, that Ho'oponopono prayer, which is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Right? So when we notice these experiences, this darkness of maybe shame or guilt or beating yourself up, or maybe you're feeling abandonment or rejection or not good enough, right? Being able to observe that feeling, because it's a part of you, right? It could be your inner child. It could be the loss of your innocence. It could be connected to your adolescent, your young adult, your young teen. It could be connected to parts, and saying, and just kind of calling those parts back to yourself, right? So that would be really great shadow work for you to do this full moon in Capricorn, because that could also lead to the type of work that you support others with. And so her next message is, oh, Lady of the Stars. So we have the dark mysteries, right? Going down into like the abyss. And now we're going up into the heavens, right? Into the stars. So I apologize for this getting a little fuzzy. I'm just noticing the camera going in and out here. So Sirius is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at an extremely high vibration. She brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, and a high capacity for divine service. She asks you to pay attention now, right, in the present moment, because something significant is taking place at a spiritual level for you at this time. So again, this is like duality here, the shadow, the light. Again, this is a powerful time to work on or harness balance, right? Work-life balance. This is a powerful time. Again, shadow and light work. We have light and love here. You've come here to bring divine healing to the world. So maybe learning how to master harness, like maybe some of you working with feelings and emotions and learning how to clear that out. And know that, you know, if you're going to this place and it can be challenging and difficult and really intense, right? The Lady of the Stars here, right? Sirius, the celestial goddess, is here gifting you with unconditional love and wisdom. She brings you deep soul awakening. It's here where you recall and reconnect with missing parts of the self, things that have been disowned from childhood, right? Where people said, maybe you're not this, or maybe you're not that, or maybe you need to do this, or maybe you need to do that. There's been a lot of projections of the patriarchal system on the feminine energy, right? There's even so much going on in the world where this is coming up still over and over again. It makes my heart so sad when I see the feminine energy still being disowned, disempowered, suppressed, right? And remember, it doesn't matter if you're masculine or feminine, we all have these parts within us. So even masculine dominant energies who are on the spiritual path, you're being asked to really acknowledge and empower your intuitive, your gut feelings, right? Your own processes with the divine and how you channel, right, in this world. So we're being asked to really look at the matriarchy here. And it's kind of like the patriarchy and the matriarchy in a healthy way is like tennis shoes, right? You know, if we're going to go running, we need two pairs of shoes, right? A left and a right. Masculine and feminine, let's say. Let's use this figuratively here, right? Each its own individual essence, right? So we're not saying one is better than the other. We're saying they're both equal and each harnesses a powerful vibration here, right? So this dark and light. And so we're being asked to balance our masculine and our feminine energy. And right, remember the words like pause and stillness and silence and nothingness and rest. These words, and surrender. You know, I always forget that one, but that's something I'm working on. These words are so incredibly valuable and connected to the feminine essence that we need to start valuing to come into balance. And that can be what you can focus your energy on this Capricorn full moon here. So what are you being asked to surrender? Where can you focus your energy? What are you being asked to surrender? Stubbornness, right? This is the way I've done it. This is always the way I've done it. This is the way I know, right? The universe is saying be open to new thought streams, new approaches, higher love, right? So the card here says if you're tensing up or taking a rigid stance about something, gently observe yourself and become more yielding. This could be stubbornness with yourself. Maybe you're being hard on yourself or tough on yourself, or maybe you're not even aware of it. This is something to pay attention to. It's interesting. I'm just looking at the clock here and I'm seeing the two energies show up. I'm seeing 22 and 12. So 2 again is have faith. Everything's going to be okay. It says this will help you communicate more lovingly with others and yourself. So be aware, observe the tension in your neck and shoulders, the tension in your middle back. Be present these next couple weeks, and how you can release, again, is that prayer. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. When you observe, like, again, a thought stream that's not a vibrational match to the essence of love and light that you are now, observe it. And again, being able to say, I feel you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And then being able to take a deep breath, relax, breathe, soften, and open. Right? Open your heart to the divine. This is a way that you can release stubbornness or rigidity, control. This is a powerful moon to relinquish control. It has to be my way. I have to do this. A way to release anger and rage and resentment and bitterness by feeling it, right? Giving yourself a safe space for this to come up and out. All right, so what are you being gifted with this full moon in Capricorn? Amplify your positive emotions. So when you do this clearing work, right, connecting with the Lady of the Stars, Sirius, and light and love to amplify your positive emotions. That's what you're being gifted with. And again, we have card number 7 here. 7 is my number for the divine feminine energy, right? It also represents shadow work. It represents us going into the unseen, right? If you've been feeling depressed or a heaviness, what I have recognized on my own journey is that's when I have been giving so much to the 3D world. And I noticed that I at that point, I'm coming out of a period of being so much in service to my soul mission that my spiritual journey needs attention, that my own physical body needs to be nourished, that I need a break. It's a call back to the self, right? It's a call back to God. So if you're feeling that depressed energy, ask yourself, how much have I been giving? Again, not to shame, not to feel guilty about it, but let it be a navigator for you. Relax, breathe, soften, and open, and saying, okay, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to start saying no. Say no to the things you want to say no to, and say yes to the things you want to say yes to, and not the opposite. Earth angels have a tendency to say yes to the things we want to say no to, and no to the things we want to say yes to, people pleasing, and all that kind of stuff. So this would be a really great time for you to take a good hard look at that, and then really amplify those positive energies when you are feeling good, when you are feeling the light, when you are feeling the love. More of this or something even better. So the next thing is, be gentle with yourself. And we have double 3s here. So 3s are what I connect with the Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. So I am actually feeling Jesus's energy in this. And also Mary Magdalene and their union of divine love coming in. I'm seeing double 3 here of the masculine and the feminine. There's a symbolic of this being a 7 and then double 3s here. And maybe deers will come into your life. Maybe you'll start seeing them or reminding you about gentleness. So pay attention. Like, are you brooding your way through things? And again, if you are, just notice it, saying, oh, that's what that looks like. That's what that feels like. Okay, let me make an adjustment, which that minor adjustment is relax, breathe, soften, and open, right? When you notice the tension in your body, surrender it, right? Being able to release in that moment. And this requires a level of you paying attention to your physical body, paying attention and being in the present moment. And this is a powerful full moon for you to do that. Get excited about the present moment and looking forward to the future. Amplify these positive energies, but also be very gentle on yourself. Let's see. Earth angels have certain needs, and the most dominant ones are physical needs, taking care of our physical body because we feel so deeply and we're so sensitive. Connection needs, right? Attention, nurturing, self-love, feeling like just giving yourself hugs and nurturing, that types of energy. And then certainty, right? A lot of times our lives are filled with a lot of uncertainty, especially because of the world we're living in right now. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the world. So being able to create certainty certainty within yourself, providing those needs for yourself, allowing the divine to provide those certainty needs, which are stability, order, support, to know and be known, to see and be seen, to hear and be heard, right? Being able to have stability financially and within your home. These are all certainty needs that you can balance the uncertainty of the transformation you're going through right now. So being gentle on yourself, or really meditating on the word of gentleness and what that means. Maybe activating the deer energy, maybe seeing it in your mind's eye and allowing the deer medicine to fill you up, right? The deer moves with gentleness. It grazes on grass. If you ever, I was lucky enough when I was in Sedona this past April that, I saw many deer outside of my porch. And in the morning, I would wake up early before the sun came over the mountains, and I would see the deer grazing in the yard in front of me, and they would look at me with those doe eyes of love. And I had an experience yesterday where I was picking up some medicine for my dog, and there was this puppy that came out that was so sweet, and it looked at me, and I was just hit with that love, that genuine unconditional love in its eyes, and it just felt gentle. And that's where I magnified that. And I'm saying more of this in my life, or something even better. So know, friends, that these energies are already in your life. But if we're in our mind, right, and so far in the past and so far in the future, we're going to miss what's going on. So this would be a really great time for you to practice being present and gentle. And the final message, the affirmation here. Oh, I just had an error message. I'm hoping this is still going. I don't know what happened. I just had an error message. So I'm hoping this is still going and didn't get ruined. I'm just going to go with it. All right. So I don't know what that was. But anyway, the final affirmation here for you is rising above. I love it. Yes, this kind of goes with the light and love. What a beautiful way to end this, right? Arms to the sky, heaven above, opening, the bright light all around. This is the lotus flower, right? Lotus flower roots its roots are in the mud, and it opens to the sunlight, right? Nice and clean and pure. And then when the sun goes down, it closes up and goes back into the mud. So there's this beautiful duality of shadow and light here, and it's equally a blessing. So the affirmation here says, I see only beauty and grace. Again, be gentle with yourself. Amplify your positive emotions in light and love, and see only beauty and grace. Grace for me is a very forgiving word, right? Be gentle with yourself. Be forgiving. Give yourself grace that you're learning, you're growing. And this is part of the spiritual journey of experience. So again, have compassion for yourself. You're doing a really great job being a human on this very challenging planet here. So rise above. That was so beautiful. So I don't know if my camera is running out of battery here, so I'm going to wrap up. So thank you so much, Pile 3, for watching. If you want to stick around, I'm going to close space for us. Let's see here. It's always important to open space, clothe space. This is how you respect the divine and you respect the energies and clear out attachments. Okay, here we go. So I want to thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today. I want to give so much gratitude to Mother Moon and her powerful energy, especially with this Capricorn full moon energy. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. Thank you so much for watching, friends. If this reading or these readings touched your heart in any way and you feel inspired and you want to click that like button, that helps me, it supports me. If you want to be part of this channel, I encourage you to subscribe and leave a comment. If these messages touched you in any way, feel free to share, leave me some emojis. And again, stay tuned because I'm very much enjoying doing these types of readings for you. If you know somebody, a loved one that could really benefit from these messages, I also ask and thank you for sharing me with your friends and loved ones. All right, I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.